least, I would like to bring up to the podium the next mayor of Manchester, Zach Reichelt.
As you've seen, all across that, I'm running for mayor of Manchester. You have to know this. Before I get started, I wanted to say I appreciate everyone on the Republican team running for the board of directors. The change that we want to see in town is not going to happen unless we get everyone elected on this board. And there are some serious issues. But before I talk about these issues, I'm going to tell you about myself and how much I love Manchester. Myself, I'm a Christian. I am a family man. I have my wife here, Vanessa. I have three of the most beautiful children that drive me to do this every day. I want to see Manchester just in its best form for them. I want to see it for every family to thrive in Manchester. They're all in the school system, Bennett and Keeney, and again, my wife is also the president of the Keeney PTA still, on her last allowed term. I've been on the board of directors for 2 terms now with Peter for both those terms, Ed for this term, and Jacqueline Cressman was on the last term as a Republican. We've been in the minority, and it's been tough, I'm not going to lie. There's a lot of things that we want to do, and we haven't been able to do them. And I think that it's time that we have the chance to be in the majority, not the minority, and that we implement these plans. I also am a business owner, Reichelt Construction, and it brings in, the engineering aspect with all the projects that are happening, like the library that talks about the senior center. Those are areas where I've been able to interject on my expertise. Where I was on the building committee for a long time with all the schools that were renovated. That has been a really big joy for me to see those projects come together in an efficient way, and they have. They weren't like a Waddell experience with the slides and stuff. What I love about Manchester. Manchester is different for each individual person. So what I love about Manchester is canoeing Union Pond, hiking Case Mountain, jumping off the diving board at Globe Hollow. Those are all memories that we all have in this town that, that's worth fighting for. Now, the things that we love about Manchester, Main Street, shopping on Main Street. When I was a kid, there wasn't Marlowe's, and I used to buy my cap guns for my toy gun when I was a kid. And it was a lot of fun, but but we've seen a decline, and I want to see Main Street come back to its fullest potential. Unfortunately, I just don't think that the current streetscape plan is going to get us there. I think that maybe there's other options, and I think that the community needs a voice when it comes to Main Street because of how important it is. And I think out of those 4 subjects I brought up, Main Street is something that is in the mind of everyone as a reason why they love Manchester and a reason why they want to see us thrive. And it's an indicator of us doing extremely well. I grew up the road here on 4th Street. And growing up, right next to Main Street has been an incredible experience. What I've noticed about Manchester and all of its citizens is that we care. We care a lot. Whether it's a person walking down the road that looks like they need help, or it's a community event. And I've been to almost all of them. I used to hand out flyers at the Manchester Road Race as a kid, running up and down, handing people pamphlets. And it is, and those are all run by people in town that believe in Manchester, that really care. And what I've seen about the Save Downtown group is a community that just wants a voice on things that they extremely care about. And I want to be the person that gives them that voice. I want to be able to produce a referendum. All right, now I'm going to dive into the issues directly. Main Street, referendum. We need it. We need the community to feel like they are directly invested into their Main Street, and we can produce. The issue currently is that we have a approved streetscape plan, and we need to vote Republican this time. Otherwise, it is on track to happen. And 9 people in a room shouldn't be the people that decide what happens. It's one of the most important assets in our town. Another issue, town-owned property. We have a lot of it, especially when we merged with the 8th. We have experienced a decline in our grant list this last year, and it's now more than ever to have a big conceptualized plan on what is going to happen with these vacant properties. We need it. We need to put a lot more effort than we currently have into that. But we go right into it. The decline in the grant list, taxes. We have to seriously present ourselves as a business-friendly community. We need to increase our grant list in that way. Let's reduce the burden off the taxpayer and the resident. That is one of the number one priorities for me is to see the grant list grow with a diversified business list instead of what we currently have. I don't want to see businesses leave Manchester. On top of that, I'm a big proponent of open space. I'm currently on the Land Historic Preservation Committee, and I think that trails and quality of land is directly connected to quality of life. And I think that having open space is a great blessing that Manchester has. We have open space that is worth us still enjoying. As chairman of the future board of Manchester, I want to present our town as a welcoming town where everyone's welcome to town hall. I want everyone to feel like they belong, that they have their 5 minutes to speak, and that their issues are taken seriously, with wholeheartedly. And I want to deliver on that, seriously. I would like to say I appreciate everyone's support. I've been out in town. I've been dropping signs up. I've been knocking on doors. I've seen more support this election than I have ever seen in Manchester. I'm really excited for the future of Manchester. I really think that we're going to produce change. Thank you for your support.